Get this, adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Wondery. Greenlight.com/Wondery. Looking for your best sleep ever? Sleep Number smart beds are literally made for you. They adapt to your changing needs. So whether you're dealing with sore muscles or running hot at night, your bed automatically adjusts for optimal comfort. Want softer, firmer, cooler, warmer? With personalized firmness settings and temperature control that cools up to 20 times faster than leading competitors, you'll get the perfect sleep environment every night. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now it's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event, up to 50% off, limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
Why is there that phrase, that's his Achilles heel? Are the Achilles heels weak?
I think
You know, you've heard the phrase.
I think it's the tendons or whatever.
Is this medical
connect
corner?
to the heel, right?
No,
And
but
that-
no.
they rip.
In literature, the so-and-so, that was his Achilles heel, driving a cab or whatever. There's a
that's
phrase.
part of the heel, isn't it? The Achilles.
No, let me try one more
Where does
time.
it snap?
Achilles
Right above the heel, right?
I'm looking up the meaning or why that.
Well, Achilles was a Greek god, was he
There,
not?
now you're getting closer to what I'm talking
he was
about.
a Greek god, yes.
Okay,
I
but
think
something
he was.
you're said to have an Achilles heel. You know, my Achilles heel is chocolate or something. You know what?
This is
Weakness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oxford Languages. The Achilles heel of the case of nuclear power remains the issue of the disposal of waste, right? That would be the Achilles heel.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, how
It's
to
the
get rid of
weakness or the vulnerable point.
Okay.
The
and
weakness or the
obviously
vulnerable
that
point.
exists
In football.
in football. And
Aaron
other
Rodgers and
sports.
Kirk went out the same way.
Yes,
Nobody
just,
touched
Just
it.
kind of running along.
She goes when she wants to,
Some
apparently.
non-medical experts have told me, though, that thing gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and you don't really know it, and all of a sudden, whoop, there
Boom.
she goes.
Boom.
And that's the way it.
I heard a guy on the radio say it looks like a piece of rope. And when she goes, it looks like a bowl of spaghetti.
Okay. Well, somebody knows more about it.
You know
than
what? The irony, too, is he was really playing well.
He played extremely well against San Francisco, which has proven to be grossly overrated.
Yeah.
And then, and he was good yesterday against a really bad Packer team. And they once again, they should have scored more in the first half than they did. They get down in there and screwed up a couple of times, but they still end up getting 27 points. Yeah. So we're in high dungeon here about trying to figure out. What to do next, and I would guess that they're going to play Jaron Hall on Sunday in Atlanta, the rookie backup, and then this Nick Mullins will be ready to go. And I don't think they're going to go out and do anything. Do you, Reavers?
No. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, is there anything to be done? Is there anybody
Well, you
available?
can go Carson Wentz. You could bring him in.
Andy Dalton was the hot rumor on social
Andy
media
Dalton,
from
yeah,
the
but
Carolinas.
People are just making that up.
I know.
I mean, they could, but all those changes can be made. These aren't guys you got to trade for. You know, these things can be made in a couple of weeks if it doesn't work out.
You know who the other quarterback is? Someone on the practice squad, Tanner Morgan. He was on the
Yes.
Vikings practice squad.
Okay,
Wasn't he the Gophers guy?
I looked
For
this
about
up
9
today.
years, yes.
Now, Jaron Hall is a rookie, Joe, right?
Yeah.
He's one of those Mormon fellas.
Didn't they draft him?
Yes, they did in fifth round. But he's one of those Mormon fellas, so it took him a little while to get out of college.
Yeah.
He's 25 and a half.
Oh.
He is, you've heard of this C.J. Stroud, who's a very good rookie for Houston? He's 3.5 years older than C.J. Stroud, our rookie, and Stroud, he's a year older than Justin Fields, who's been playing his second year as a. And he's 7 months older than Jordan Love, who played yesterday, and this is his fourth season. No, he's not very good at all. But I'm trying to say is this is not your average rookie because he's old. He's inexperienced, but he's old.
He can rent a car.
Yeah, oh God, yes, yeah, he can rent a car. Doesn't even have the mom standing next to him. So you moved him up to second team. Mullins supposedly had a bad back. He had a sore back. I think they used that to make a roster spot for somebody else, right? And he's a guy, he's like a veteran backup that will probably play the week after next if Hall doesn't play well in Atlanta. But they're going down to play an Atlanta team quarterbacked by former Viking great Tyler Heineke, who was a backup here for a few years. So, anyway.
The kid for the Bears didn't pan out the second game he played. Just
Badgett. No, I didn't watch much of that last night.
That wasn't much to watch.
No, it was. They got
baseball's back tonight.
Yes,
it's been a fun series.
Yeah, how about those? That was a hell of a game on Friday.
Yeah, it was.
And how about those Diamondbacks though?
Yeah.
Wow. I got to call manager Gardenhire, Ron Gardenhire, because when he got fired, the Twins basically only interviewed two people, right? Molitor and Torey Lobello, who was a bench coach in Boston. And they really liked Lobello, but they were kind of committed to Paul. And then the next year, he went to Arizona. He got hired by Arizona, and he has survived there for 8 seasons. Even though they lost 100 games 2 years ago, they've had a lot of lousy seasons. And it's kind of weird that he was allowed to survive. And in most markets, they get antsy. But Gardy was his bench coach in 2016. He went down there and served as his bench coach. Then he got prostate cancer, I believe, halfway through the year, and they ended up, they were really nice to him, the Diamondbacks, and he missed about half the season and came back. But Gardy, he could have replaced Gardy, and then Gardy went to work for him for a year as a bench coach, and then he got the Detroit job, Gardy. So, but that was also when Gardenhire said, I got a house in Fort Myers that my son is living in, and I got a house in Lake Elmo that my daughter's living in, and I'm renting a condo from Morneau in Arizona, because Morneau, when he was having spring training there, bought himself a condo down in Phoenix. So Gardy owned 2 houses and was paying rent to one of his former players, Morneau. But he really liked the guy, but Lobello has managed to survive through some bad times down there.
They got a good young roster, too.
They are good, man. They're spunky, and they play different than now they've hit some home runs, but they don't sit around and wait for home runs like most other teams.
I was an observer, but I freaking love Corbin Carroll. I love everything about his game. Yeah. The kid hustles. He's a 5-tool player. And I like the energy he plays with. He is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, he can create hell for you, too.
Who's the Ranger that got in a fight a week ago Friday night?
Garcia. Adalis.
I don't think he hustles.
No, but he about once a game he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to. You're right.
But there's a great photo, Joe, of him and the Tampa Rays outfielder Randy Arozarena.
Yeah.
However you pronounce his name.
Arozarena.
And all it says is, look away, Cardinals fans. The Cardinals had both of those guys in Double-A. And
really?
One of them they traded, and one of them...
they're both Cuban, right?
Yeah. But they were in the same outfield with the Cardinals Double-A team. Yeah.
I'm worried about St. Louis, by the way.
Yep.
Greatest baseball town in America.
Yep.
Got a new soccer team that won its whatever they got conference, and then they won a playoff game. And they got an arena they got a stadium that looks like it's soccer specific, like this one. I sure as hell hope St. Louis doesn't turn in. Now, they had
Jeez.
soccer way back when.
Yeah.
Not pro, but they were kind of a good grassroots soccer program. But let's not turn that into
Always
a soccer
been a
town.
wonderful baseball
Oh,
town.
God, it's been
In
this
fact-
year. They had a lot of no-shows, obviously.
I
the
was
second
there
half
in
of the
April.
schedule.
Is that the place they built that's by the Union Depot there, right off the
I don't know
freeway?
where it is.
I think that's where it is.
Now, didn't they have two teams at one point, and one of them became Baltimore?
The Browns became the Orioles, yes.
Two teams in St. Louis.
Wow.
Bill Veeck owned the Browns
That's
and was
right.
the guy who sold them to Baltimore. He wanted to move the team to Baltimore as the owner, and
Which is where he lived.
The other American League owners hated him so much because he promoted. And
Right.
I mean, the
He
other
did
owners,
stuff that-
National League owners wouldn't let him move. Wouldn't let him move the team, so he just sold it to Baltimore then. But yeah, they had two teams, and in fact, the St. Louis Cardinals, in their infancy, going back to the 1880s, in the National League, were the Browns, and then they became the Cardinals, and then later, when they got the American League team, they named them the Browns, and whenever the hell that was.
I think they went to Baltimore in 1954.
Can you pull your mic
That's the
just
year
a
I
little
keep
bit
thinking.
closer to your
Yes.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, look out! It's
How
flip
about
flopping
that?
there,
That's
ladies
much
and gentlemen.
better.
I have a
Thank you.
Gopher football question.
You know what? I really feel. I look over there. This guy's taller than me, and I'm looking over at this short little figure over
He
here.
likes to slouch.
People are commenting
Not
that
only slouch,
I have
but,
to sit up.
But the chair is low. You
Yeah.
got the low chair. I like the high chair.
the chair is the way it is for me to use this desk.
Oh, okay.
But,
All right.
Patrick, I know how much you love the mayor's foils.
Yes.
And so earlier today, we were having a bit of a technical issue to try to get Kenny Olson dialed into the broadcast. And I kept, we could hear Kenny, but Kenny, for some reason, couldn't hear us. So what Joe tried to do was get the mic way down, and he put his head damn near hitting the table. He
Kenny,
had his
can you
head-
hear me?
And I said, Joe, he can't hear us. Stop wasting your time. But he thought he was helping.
Yeah, well,
he thought he was helping.
We're trying to help. These modern times kind of confuse some of us older
right.
fellas. Yeah. So anyway, I interrupted you for one of the few times in our 40 years. In our 40 years together, I interrupted you.
The Gophers have no business wearing black
No, they
uniforms.
don't.
What is this?
I don't know.
Is this a fleck deal?
They say yes. They say the players like it. Who
I don't
says
care.
the players like
Well,
it?
plus, who cares?
says
That's
the
not your
players-
color.
No.
They're
no.
maroon and gold. What is with this black uniform?
Culture.
I don't like it.
They say the now I was making fun of it, and Dave Thorson, who's been around forever and he's assistant coach, he says it's true. Some of the recruits want to know what the uniforms look like.
You're kidding.
No, so that's a little frightening. Yeah, okay. I really like everything about this school, but what color of underwear am I going to use when I'm out there?
What are you wearing on a night or an afternoon? Oh.
It is so stupid.
Well,
But
they can't wear black. It's not their color.
No, it's not in the. It's
not in the rule book.
It's boring too.
You have
Yeah.
Phil
Boring.
Knight to blame for all of this.
Oh yes, yeah. Nike says wear these, and because here's the problem: your real hardcores already have maroon stuff or gold stuff.
Yes.
Now we're trying to get them to buy. You could probably get a black jersey.
I don't
now
like
if
it.
You want some?
I don't like it.
I don't either. I don't approve. And as I've said, in fact, I was ripping it on Twitter saying, as a University of Minnesota attendee, I always have to say attendee. I cannot claim any sort of alma mater there, but I think at alma mater you got to graduate.
Home to Illinois Saturday.
Illinois is terrible. Mm-hmm. And Brett Bielema, who has never lost to the Gophers, he's
Is that true?
7-0 as the Badger coach, and 2-0 as the Illinois coach, I believe.
Wow.
He ate a building since last year. Have you seen him?
No.
He got to be pushing 4 bills.
You're kidding.
He's 350 at least. He's
Wow.
just
Ate
enormous.
a building.
He's just enormous. Last year it looked like he was down a little, and he's a family man. He's got young kids, and God Almighty, he's gigantic. It's unbelievable. And they're terrible too.
So they'll win that game, and
know-
then we have Purdue, right, after that?
Yes, they're terrible. You know who's the best team in the West? Nebraska, but they've screwed around with that bad quarterback a couple of games. And since they changed quarterbacks, they got the best talent. But
I think I said this when they
him.
hired Rule. I said he's going to put together a good program there.
The Gophers already beat them though, so if they both end up 6-3, the Gophers would be the West champion. Get to go show those Buckeyes or Michigan. Cheating Michigan. We now know why Michigan beat us by 42, Joe.
They were stealing
our signs. Yeah, they didn't. We were going to trick them, and then they already knew what we were going to do there, so they beat them. By the way, Wall Street Journal, which is for some reason has been all over this Michigan sign stealing story, reports today that Michigan took their offer to Harbaugh for an extension off the table.
Really?
Because of this, they're embarrassed by the sign stealing scandal. Even though it's not against NCAA rules, but it's considered unsportsmanlike, I guess.
How do you steal a sign?
I can get you a sign.
You go, the guy uses his phone to videotape the sidelines, goes to the game. He must have a super duper phone to pick it up across the way. Because you got to be on the other side of the field.
You do have to
right?
be on the other
and
side.
He's in the stands, and then then the best part is Harbaugh saying, "I don't know anything about this. I don't know." Then they got the video of him standing next to the guy standing next to Harbaugh. I think during the games, this ex-Army guy who he hired as a
Secret ops.
basically a CIA guy. He's got standing next to him.
Never seen that guy before in my life.
No, what is it? My concentration is so intense. I don't even know who's standing next to me during the game. So this is, it's some people are making a huge deal out of it though. But they say because Michigan's so good and they're probably going to be a playoff team that they'll probably put off a final decision on this till next year.
Did the black uniforms have any maroon or gold accents?
I don't believe so. No.
Well, this is wrong.
You're really letting
I'm
this
really
bother you.
bothered by this.
That would be like St. Thomas wearing red.
Right, they're a blue and white team.
Right. Let's wear red, just like the Johnnies do.
What is that color in Thomas? Is that purple?
Purple, yeah.
Purple and white.
Purple, white. Yeah.
How are the Tommies this year?
Well, they just beat Marist, hated Marist.
They beat Marist like a bloody stump, man. They killed Marist. They had a bad game at Drake. They got lit up, but they're still 4-1 or something.
The boys and I took in Mankato State versus hated Southwest State. Southwest State's I think they have one win this year.
Yeah.
And the pregame basically consisted of how much the Southwest fans could drink before they walked into Blakesley.
Really? Do we have a few Southwest fans?
The visiting parking lot was about 3/4 full for the game.
Wow.
So,
well, the coach there is at Southwest now is the coach who lost his job when St. Cloud State dropped football.
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
They hired him. I think this is his second year there.
They gave him a scare for about a quarter, and then Mankato
Corey
took
Sauter
over.
was the coach there, and he got let go.
Gotcha.
I have big problems with our Wild.
You should.
Well, they don't.
Well, we're always talking about our noble effort that we put in.
They don't shoot enough. They screw around with the puck too much. Go to the net. Good things happen when you shoot. They don't shoot enough.
What's wrong with the Ruski?
He'll look to pass before he shoots.
We want him shooting.
He's too charitable.
They're supposed to be passing
Shoot.
it. They're supposed to be passing it to him.
They
not
screw
vice
around.
versa.
They keep confusing puck possession with quality play. That's not the way it works. Shoot the puck.
How long is it going to take the Flower to get 5 wins?
It'll take them a while at this rate.
I think it's time to. They'll
get them. They'll get
They're
them.
committed to the Flower, but the Flower's only going to play 40% of the time, and you're only going to win 1 out of every 3. It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
And I think you give the Flower till New Year's Day and say, if you don't get the 5 before then, we're calling up the phenom from Des Moines, Wallstedt or whatever his name is.
I gave a kid last night the test on give me the history of the New Jersey Devils, and he Couldn't do it, and he's pretty good on sports.
Okay.
They were the Kansas City Scouts, and the Colorado Rockies, then the New Jersey Devils.
I see.
There wasn't a Cleveland stop in there.
Nope.
The Cleveland Barons became us, but then did Cleveland have another team or not?
If they did, I don't think it had anything to do with the Devils.
That league is a little. Now we got the Phoenix problem because they don't have a new arena yet.
They got a little Aldrich Arena,
but that league is a little more solid foundation than they had there for a few years. Mm-hmm. You want a team? Win it? Okay, Winnipeg, we stole your team, but you can have them back because Atlanta don't give a damn about hockey. So
right.
That's supposedly Phoenix is going to go to Houston, though. That's the hot rumor.
I would rather see them go back to Quebec.
They're not going.
Or
back
Hamilton.
They're not going to either of those places. I don't think.
The hockey hotbed of Houston? I could see that.
Yeah,
they had a WHA team.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Okay.
The Arrows, I think.
If you come and if you come and win, they'll be happy. It's Florida all of a sudden because they made the finals is a miracle run.
Tampa is one of the hockey hotbeds of the United States.
Yeah, they're producing players. They got junior teams.
Yeah.
The Tampa owner's fantastic, though. He's invested a lot in junior hockey down there. And I told you, they give $50,000 to a fan's charity before every game.
Oof.
The fan, they pick out some fan, you register for it, and they get the fan down there at center ice after the first period, I think. And,
every game?
Every game. And during the lockout, when there would have been games, they went to somebody's house.
Really?
Some fan's house and gave away $50,000 to their charity. Now the guy's a billionaire and he can.
Yeah.
And he's created a city down there where that arena is.
Yeah. Who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah. Well,
that's amazing. I didn't know they did it every day.
What's his name? I did a piece on him.
Who owns the Florida team? That art dealer? Who am I thinking of that owns the Panthers?
I don't know who owns the Panthers. I don't.
Who had a surprising run last year?
Yes, even though they're stuck out there next to the turnpike in the middle of nowhere.
God.
Yeah, terrible. But they, that got some people in the stands anyway.
So who's pitching tonight? Scherzer?
Yeah, I don't like Texas' chances.
And former Mankato Moondog Brandon Pfaadt is pitching.
Is a Mankato, and he has a Minnesota connection.
I believe he's
some other way
either engaged to or married to a Mankato gal. I believe. I thought I read that somewhere.
He also has family links going back.
Oh,
and Ginkel, the pitcher, the reliever, Ginkel's dad, Mounds View High graduate, and then moved out to San Diego.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we love the local angle.
And his granddaddy was a longtime teacher at Mounds View High. He's a local. In fact,
local.
I put that on my Twitter account, and then I said, "Take that, Sid."
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah,
That's the kind of thing he loved.
Oh, he loved that. His aunt once lived in Bemidji or some damn thing. We were in the eternal search for the local angle, and he's one of our boys when he comes in and there's Ginkel. There's our guy.
Did you use
Mustang.
that? Was it you that used that yesterday with trying to recruit Brady to now replace Cousins?
Yes.
Go call up Grandma.
Have the Browerville relatives call him and say, "Come on, let's go. Come on back here."
Because it was his grandma, right? Wasn't it his grandmother?
No, his mother is a Browerville.
His mother was. Okay, gotcha.
He's nuts enough to might do it.
God.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that would be a pretty good coup, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Now, do they try the rest of the year, or do they just say, "The hell with it, let's get a draft choice"?
They got to try. Joe, look at the schedule.
They're 4-4.
Look at the schedule the next 4 games.
Yeah.
Quarterback being anywhere competent, they're better than the next 4 teams are playing, right, Reavers? They got Atlanta.
And then we go New Orleans. And then we come
New
home.
Orleans is here, right?
No, you're right. We go
at Atlanta, home.
Then we come home to New Orleans. That's what it is.
Which is mediocre.
And then we have a bye in there somewhere, too, don't we?
Got a bye, and then they got the Bears coming in. No, before the bye, they got a late bye after the 12th game. And they got 4 easy ones before that. So they could They could be 7-5. Hell, if you're 7-5, you're going to the playoffs now.
I apologize. I have been distracted by Brandon Fatt's girlfriend, and she is
really?
not. She's from Louisville. She is not from.
She's from Louisville.
Yeah.
So when would he been pitching in Louisville that he met her?
That's where he's from originally. He went to high school in Louisville. Then he pitched for the Moondogs in 2018.
Joe,
How did
give him the spelling of that name, would you please?
PF AADT.
And both the P
Fad.
and the T are silent.
Right.
So it's fad.
Fad.
Yeah.
Right.
Why don't they just spell it fad? Get rid of the P and the T. Just drop it.
That's what he gave him.
What is he, Asian kid?
No.
No.
What is that?
But he's been
Dutch?
the secret of their success in the postseason. He was mediocre as hell during the regular season, and now he's been pitching great, just throwing it hard and taking his chances. So
We pronounce it in our house. That's how we pronounce it in our house.
right. Oh, here he comes. Yeah. I wonder if there's any fads in the state of Minnesota. I wonder if
Not sure.
I don't know. I bet there's somebody playing town ball some damn place.
Speaking of former Twins, your guy Bob Nightingale, I don't know if he reported or if he just kind of threw this against the wall, that Angels owner Artie Moreno wants Torrey Hunter to be the next manager of the Los
Really?
Angeles. He loves Torrey Hunter.
Torrey Hunter's going to stay in Texas and make loads of money selling barbecue. He don't need that.
Did his kid
He's a
make it somewhere?
businessman.
Didn't Torrey's kid?
He got drafted. I don't think he's made it.
Okay.
I don't know.
What do you
how.
mean selling barbecue?
He's got a barbecue, a tender barbecue something. He's got about
restaurant?
6 stores that are going
You're
crazy.
kidding. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I think he started in Austin, San
Really?
Antonio, and he's expanding like crazy, and they're very popular. And I texted him twice, and he hasn't responded. I said, we need barbecue. And he got this great big building behind left field that's got the main floor devoted to restaurants and other commercial stuff. Let's get the tender barbecue in that.
That's
big
a hell of an
gangbusters,
idea.
but he hasn't responded. I'm trying to. He probably likes paying Texas taxes instead of Minnesota taxes.
Fighting
so
chance, yeah.
That's probably
This
the
state's very unfriendly to a guy who wants to open a barbecue business.
Yeah, and the renting that thing. Boy, I sure wish I had some money.
Yeah.
Would that be nice?
What would you do?
$4,000 a month.
What would you
up
do
there.
with it?
I'd go rent that.
Oh, to live there, you mean?
Live there. Yeah, it'd be great.
You wouldn't even need a baseball ticket. You just watch
you
it.
just go out and look on the deck. Of course, at those altitudes there,
Yeah.
I'd have to sit in the back.
Yeah, I'd be afraid.
I'd open the windows and then I'd be back like my head would be up against the wall, saying, I'm not going to go up there and lean on the balcony.
Oh, gives me the elevator stomach.
Just what if it's not made to hold a guy of my amplitude? It would not be good because that'd be a long.
Is that the
fall.
building that's just keeps getting bigger back there?
Yeah, still growing. I don't know. 30-some stories. 32, I think it's going to end up being. It's amazing.
You need to ask Patrick about the hockey. Did you guys already talk about the hockey player while I was editing?
We didn't.
Ick.
I swear it
Johnson.
happened here, and I can't.
You don't think it's Ron
find it.
Zanussi, though?
No,
'Cause that's what everybody else
Well,
says.
who'd he play for?
The North Stars.
No, this was a Philadelphia Flyer. I think it was Philadelphia play, and he skated to the bench with the spurting going on.
That
the
ain't
spurting
good.
was coming out.
Wow.
He lived. He didn't die.
I talked to Louis today, and Louis says we got to get neck guards.
Well, they have them.
Yeah,
The
people
players don't want to
'em.
wear them.
No, and I think the youth doesn't wear them either, do they?
Nope. I bet they will now.
Yeah. Here's my problem. The youth, when you played youth hockey, you probably had a nice pair of $8 skates, right? That you had to, sharpen every 5 minutes. These kids are skating around on $300 knives now, and I think there's. It's amazing it doesn't happen more often with the hundreds of thousands of kids that are playing hockey.
It's not as uncommon as you think. It happens,
Gets nicked,
but
a
not
neck
to
here.
this extent.
The carotid artery or the.
It
jugular.
almost looks as though the opposing player lifted his leg way up in the air to capture the guy's neck. But I'm unprepared to say he did that intentionally.
And I think we also can surmise that hockey in Britain is a foreign sport, and they maybe not they were not prepared for.
You're echoing what I said earlier. I had the feeling they weren't medically ready for this.
No. Well, they said they had to ask the people to get out of the,
They panicked.
had to ask the traffic around there to.
Yeah.
I don't know how they asked them to get an ambulance there. There was nobody.
And the British tabloids either don't have photographs of the horrible mess this became, or they're showing unbelievable restraint. Which I don't believe they show restraint.
They don't, but they must be. Yeah. Well, they put it online, and I'm not watching it, but other people are.
I'm not watching it either. I saw the video.
Well, I showed you the video this morning.
That's it. That's all I'm going to watch.
Right.
Because that doesn't show me any devastation.
It does show an intentional act by the.
It appears to.
Yeah.
It appears to.
Oh, man, I'd hate to see that, if that would be.
Well, and again, I won't give you detail, but it looks like the other player intentionally tried to. He lifted his leg to Johnson's.
Like a karate kick.
Like almost like a karate kick to Johnson's neck. It's pretty bad, and this guy's going to be in a lot of trouble, I'd imagine. We were informed that police are investigating the matter.
Yeah, so that could be.
What's Johnson doing over there? Just trying to prolong his career?
Yeah, he just loves the game, and he played in other European countries, and but
Do these guys make
obviously
money?
he's now down at the lowest level. But they probably get him a place to live and pay him nothing. He's not getting rich, but he loves to play.
Sure.
And he, played 13 games with the Penguins?
Scored his only goal here, I think, didn't he?
His first goal of his career was against the Wild.
Yeah.
But he just couldn't cut it with the Penguins? I mean, he's a great player, but that's how good the NHL is.
Right. Yeah, and then he ended up, went to Europe, I think, probably for a better deal, and now he's stuck over there in Europe, so he went to Britain because they'd play him. Some guys are addicted, they can't give it up, so yeah, it's too bad. I asked Pat Micheletti about the family, and he's a Hibbing guy, and he says, yeah, they're well known up there, and his dad played for UMD too. But he was a contributor on the UMD, one of their national championship teams.
Yeah, he scored the overtime goal that sent him to the Final Four. Mm-hmm. Did he ever win a championship with UMD?
I think he was. I think he did win one.
Because didn't they win it back-to-back?
Yeah, back-to-back, and they won 3 in 5 years or something like that. Speaking of hockey and the Gophers, how about the Bucky Badger with former Mankato coach Mike Hastings, with the assistance of several former Mavericks?
It was
defeated the Mavericks. What's the kid's name? Sassy, or whatever his name is.
That was mentioned in the tailgating lot Saturday afternoon before the football game.
So they are not. They are, after all Hastings did for him, we don't like him
This
anymore.
guy went from, he was going to have not only a statue, they were probably going to rename North Mankato to Mike Hastings. That's how much he was loved, to now they can't stand him.
Because he took
he left.
That's and he took 3 or 4 players with him, plus several recruits. Yes, who are very good players.
Yep.
And the interesting thing is, his ace recruiter at Mankato, Todd Knott, was offered the Mankato job and went to Wisconsin.
Right.
And Hastings got him more money to coach, to be the assistant at Wisconsin
Than MSU was going to give him.
MSU. Luckily, MSU is still in the CCHA, so they'll be in the first division, but they won't be dominant anymore.
Not anymore.
It'll take a while.
Well, between that and the rise of St. Thomas, they're in trouble.
Oh, yeah. St. Thomas is going to get... see, if you're an Edina kid and you got your choice between St. Thomas or
Mankato, you're going to St. Thomas.
St. Thomas.
Yep.
Who's our new... Where did we get the new coach?
He was in the USHL, I believe. I can look that up here. Hang on.
Oh, yeah. That's where they got Hastings, too. He was
I believe, because he looks like, if you see a picture of him,
bald.
He looks like Mike's little brother.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
There wasn't a hell of a lot of hair featured with the Moscow Hastings showdown, man. They'd call me curly in that game compared to those guys. God almighty, those guys are bald.
Luke Strand is his name. Luke Strand, and he came...
Miami, Ohio.
Darn it.
No,
I just had it here a second ago. He was an assistant at Ohio State last year.
You know what drives me crazy about hockey? Mankato Wisconsin comes in, plays a hell of a game, beats them Thursday night. Then Saturday was a close game, but the Thursday night they beat them 5-2. And in Moscow, I love Moscow, but we got to say how rotten our team effort was, right?
Yep.
No, the other team never beats you, right? It's always they gave it better effort than you. Everson does that. About every other defeat with we played good tonight, but that sport gives less credit to their opponent than any sport. Sometimes the other team comes in and plays great, and you get your ass kicked.
Right.
Why don't we admit that? We won't admit that in hockey. Well, it's weird. It is weird.
All right.
But the great thing about basketball is you can come in and if you shoot 35%, we can all say, well, they didn't make any shots. Hockey was effort. It's effort.
Grit.
No,
we need more grit.
Yeah, we didn't. What's the new word? It's not grit. It's something. The other word that they use.
Desire?
Yeah, no, it's some other thing. Some other thing. It means the same as grit. But it's, Moscow lit them up. Now, you can't do that 2 days in a row, so when they lose Friday, he thought they played a lot better. But I don't know. I just once in a while say, the boys gave her a try, and we weren't quite good enough tonight, but maybe we can beat them next night.
Right.
And by the way, our goalie wasn't too, or just say, the goalie wasn't too good tonight. So, but you can't say that either. So you got to blame it on grit.
Before we go, we need to hear about your friends at the Valley Group, Patrick.
I was just checking this out. Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers, Hastings and Apple Valley. My guys at Apple Valley, you should see the interest rates they're having now. There's a 1.9 for the SUVs. There's a 0.9 for the Sierra trucks. Lowest prices in several years for these vehicles. They're priced to move, as we say in the car business, the 2023s. And I was looking at the 2024s, too. So get out there, and they will make you a heck of a deal. Jim Paul's Valley Group and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers. How about that interest rate? 1.9.
I think the mayor is so excited about that interest rate. He's going to go check it out.
House. He's leaving. He's heading out there right now. That's right. Get out there.
That's a hell of an interest rate.
7% for a house, 1.9 for a SUV.
You live in the car.
There you go.
0.9. It's almost free. So just go out there and make your deal. I bought my last 5 cars there. I can swear by them. Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers, Apple Valley, and Hastings. Tell them Monday Night Sports Talk sent you. This is Ricey, and you've heard me discuss my relationship with Josh Arnold for some time. The reason I recommend that you give Josh a call is simple: trust and results. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions. As has been said through all of our relationship, past results do not guarantee future returns, and while that is true, Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. You can understand that Josh will make sure you are not paying more in fees than you are seeing in returns. Yep, that is more common than you would like to think in the investment business. Do yourself a favor and have a booking with Josh for the 48-minute free evaluation. This is a no-obligation meeting. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. You will be glad you did, and don't forget to ask him why it is 48 minutes.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Patrick Ricey is a paid endorser.
We've been telling you about the Canopy Group for the last few years, and the Canopy Group has 16 companies and 40 professionals. We have revolutionized the home and auto insurance marketplace. We have a challenge for you. Please call your current home and auto insurance agent and have him or her shop your insurance with 16 different companies and provide the pricing from their top 5 companies. Be prepared for a long pause. Why? Because most agents only have one company, so they can't do this. Furthermore, these agents are counting on the fact that you won't shop around either. Call the Canopy Group and we'll do the shopping for you. We'll provide you with the best results from our top 5 companies. We have 16 to choose from, and we'll show you those with the best coverage for the best price on your home and auto insurance. And remember, once you're a client of the Canopy Group, you'll be part of our annual review program where we do this for you again and again. Call 800-967-3389 or visit thecanopygroup.com.